Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to another video. As always, I'd like to welcome any new subscribers, welcome back any current subscribers. Now all that's out of the way, let's get into the video. I don't know if anyone's seen it yet, and if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'll try not to spoil it too much. This is the flip side of the same coin of, you know, the happy video I put out the other day about me being diabetes free, pretty much. This video is a little bit more somber than that, and what I mean by that is basically on my way to work this morning, I had the misfortune of having a accident. Basically, the long and short of it is, I was riding to work, minding my own business, riding through Tolls Hill, and I was sitting behind a van, a white van ironically, as usual, and the poor sod in front of me was sitting, you know, driving along, minding his own business as you do, when someone came out of a side road, basically as he was as this person jumped in front of him, he slammed on his anchors. In other words, that's brakes. So all you people that don't know what anchors mean, let's face it, I'm not riding a boat, although right now it kind of feels like it. He was he had nowhere to go, so he stamped on his brakes, practically did an emergency stop. I, however, was too close behind it. Well, I wasn't too close, but I could not take avoiding action, and I unfortunately hit him up the arse. Now you're probably going to say to me, well, why? You know, your bike's got some of the best brakes in the world on it. You know, the tyres aren't bald, yada yada yada. And yes, you would be right. I do have some of the best brakes in the world on this bike, and yes, the tyres aren't bald, but this goes back to something I said in a previous video about riding in different weather conditions. It was raining, or it had been raining, should I say. So I was unlucky enough to get caught up in a stupid little accident, really. And basically I jumped on my brakes, admittedly probably harder than I should have done, and basically the front and rear wheel locked up on me. I couldn't stop anymore, and I basically skidded into the back of his van. And yes, for someone of 15 years riding experience, it is fucking embarrassing for that sort of shit to happen to me, but you know, you live and learn. And I'll be honest, the guy that I had the unfortunate pleasure of hitting was actually really cool about it. You know, he didn't start shouting and screaming at me and wanting you know, my insurance details and all the rest of it. First thing he did when he got out of the van, he was like, dude, are you alright? You know, I had nowhere to go, I couldn't go anywhere. He just jumped out. I was like, you know what, it's alright, bro, these things happen. I mean, granted, the bike is in a little bit of a worse for wear state, and basically what's happened is, as I've hit the back of the guy's van, I've cracked the fairing just down there, I've scuffed my mirror there, I've scuffed my bar end, if you can call it a bar end, with a few scuffs here and there. But my biggest worry, well, my main worry and concern is my rear set. So I don't know if you can see down there, but it's actually bent. I mean, granted, I know they're eBay specials, but I have to admit, they did their job and did it well. So if it hadn't been for these rear sets taking the brunt of the impact, I think it's fair to say that the front end of my bike, the side of my bike would be in a lot worse state than what it currently is. And yes, I have a horrible feeling that I may have cracked one of the mounting lugs on the frame for my rear sets, but I've been told that can be fixed. Granted, it may be a little bit expensive, but it can still be fixed. It's an absolute pain in my arse, however, because no, my luck, it's probably going to cost me a fucking arm and a leg to do it. But you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. I also think I need to have the front end looked at on this, because it feels very, very vibey. Which leads me on to a slightly better topic of discussion. What should I do to this bike to trick it out a bit more? You know, I've contemplated with getting rid of my mirrors altogether. I've contemplated getting bar end mirrors, getting bar end weights to help with the vibrations, getting crash protection, which I'd, you know, in benefit of hindsight, I should have got fucking years ago. But what do you guys think I should do? You know, I haven't got pots of shit tons of money, but I'll quite happily throw, you know, 150, 200 quid, whatever at this, to try and make it a bit more snazzy. I mean, I know I've got to get things like tyres and brake pads and that soon, so I am aware of all these little bits and bobs that I need to do. But my main concern is trying to get all these other bits and bobs done. But back to the topic of doing things to top the bike up. Like I said, I've looked at rear set. Well, I need to get replacement rear sets now, thanks to that fucking off this morning. Looking at bar end, well, weighted bar ends, should I say, bar end mirrors, also chain and sprockets, tyres, you know, all the good stuff. You know, all the stuff that I really can't afford, but I need to do anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm, you know, throwing money at the bike for my health. Do you know what I mean? You know, I gats to do what I gats to do. I mean, I'm hoping that whatever happens now will result in something positive. But yeah, that was the downside to my day. I hope everyone else is enjoying the weather, because let's face it, my day's been absolutely fucking shit, primarily because I've had to work. I really need to get this front end looked at. The vibrations are ridiculous. I mean, it could just be like what when I spoke to the mechanic at my work, he turned around and said to me, oh, it could just be, you know, even with having just like a minor impact, it could just have shaken something loose. And to be fair, that is what it feels like. But as to where it's shaking it loose, I haven't got a fucking clue. But it's about to be something really simple, like for example, you know, the headstock bearing's just a bit wobbly, or get out of the way, don't be cunt on a push bike. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention people. Well, I forgot to mention certain people, shall we say. This will make you laugh. And when I say laugh, it will make you probably piss yourself. I don't know if you guys remember the issue well, not the issue that I had, but the issue that my girlfriend had with her ex-husband's in-laws that I mentioned in a previous video probably about a week ago now. Now, to put this into perspective, these old fuckers have absolutely nothing better to do with their time other than to stalk people on Facebook and Instagram. And guess what they've gone and done? They've only gone and reported my Rolling Thunder Facebook profile for a third time. That's right, you heard me. A third time. And yet again, Facebook have not wised up to it. And I've got another fucking 3-day ban. So to these old scroats, I have now got yet another ban. So that means anything that I was going to post on Instagram, sorry, on Facebook or Instagram for that matter, I now no longer can do because of that very, very issue. So if anyone wonders why I've been quiet on Facebook for a little while, or will be quiet for a little while should I say, it is because of that. But don't worry people, these old fuckers don't know what's going to hit them. And I can't really say much, but it's going to be entertaining. For now, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. But let's just say, you certain old bastards, if you are going to be watching my videos at any point, day or night, be prepared to be shouted out at every given fucking opportunity. Because guess what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say your names, but you know who the fuck I'm talking about. And at some point, yes, I will say your names. But not until I know that you lot are far enough away from me, my girlfriend and my stepdaughter, so you cannot do us any fucking harm. Not verbally, not physically, not on social media or digitally or whatever you think is funny. Well, it's not, none of it's funny to be perfectly honest with you, but you know, I find it hilarious because there's just old people. You know, people have relatives and loved ones dying all the time. That sounds really shallow and heartless of me, but it's true. But do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's gonna sound horrible, but people go quiet on Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and whatever else for a reason. It's like, what's it going to take for people to actually get it through their heads to back the fuck off? Back up, leave us alone, and maybe, just maybe, you won't end up in prison. Because guess what? That's exactly where you're going to end up if you carry on doing what you're doing. You know, it doesn't matter. You guys were guilty of harassment and domestic violence before, and guess what? Carry on and you will get done for more domestic violence, and you shall get arrested. There is no two ways about it. You old fuckers will lose your freedom, all because you just do not know how to leave us the fuck alone. But anyway, back to positivity. I do think, however, you know, buying these cheap Chinese fairings that I bought, I mean, I say they're cheap, they're like 300 quid. The fuck was that? Well, manhole cover. I mean, it's cheap in the grand scheme of things compared to, you know, original stuff. I mean, there was no chance of me buying original Ducati fairings for this because, one, they haven't made the bike for about 5 years. Two, you know, the parts are going to be very hard to come by and I probably have to buy fucking second-hand stuff. And three, you know, these fairings actually took a beat, not a massive beating, but it was a big enough beating, whereas I thought, you know, when I'd hit the back of that van and then hit the floor, it's like, oh. But as soon as I picked the bike back up, it was like, wait a minute, nothing's broken. I mean, yeah, the rear set's bent up and all the rest of it, but that could be potentially sorted out. Not quite sure how, but it could be. I don't know how I'm going to get that sorted out, but I will figure out a way to do it. There will come a time where I will figure it out. Right now, I just want to try and nurse the bike for the next couple of days. You know, get to and from work and whatever else I plan on doing. And hopefully, it just needs distance to this. And, you know, jobs are good. Whether I can get to that stage is another matter. I'm hoping it's just going to be a case of loosening off a couple of nuts and bolts, straightening things out, doing them up, boom, done. And like I said, thanks to that little off that I've had, it's kind of, you know, given me the the impetus to actually start looking at getting other bits and pieces for this, i.e. weighted bar ends to help with the vibrations, aftermarket indicators, more crash protection, like not necessarily lever guards, but things like frame sliders and fork protectors and swing arm guards and all that sort of stuff. And in actual fact, we may actually pass where it actually happened. Yep, we actually will. It happened just up here. Literally just here. The guy did what this dopey tart's just done, or bloke, I don't know what the fuck it is, and he had nowhere to go, I had nowhere to go. So, you know, it is what it is. But like people keep telling me, and I know I should listen to it, but it fucking drives me mad when people, oh, it could be worse, it could be worse. Yes, I know it could be fucking worse, but that's just me being me, I guess. But yeah, on that bum note, ladies and gentlemen, me and my very sorry for itself 1098 shall bid you adieu, and we shall catch up on the next video. So for now, this is Rolling Thunder saying adios.